Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the know, it's gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Good morning, everyone. Ooh, yeah. Well, I gotta say, we've reached another Thursday, and quite a few things have happened. Of course, now, us being fans of the geek and nerd world, there's always stuff happening. So, that's not really news for us. There's always something going on. How are you today, Martin?
Oh, I'm fine. Waiting for the news and your
My analysis?
Yes. Your clever dissection.
Oh, my clever dissection. Well,
yeah.
With some of this stuff, this is pretty much this is gonna be an autopsy.
Oh.
Well, thank you, Tom Baker. You are too kind. Although, a majority of it is Martin. I just show up and run my gums. So
I just only provide the soapbox. You tell it like it is.
Let's see. Tom Baker says, I love Fanbase, the platform created by Isaac Hayes' son. It is quality short filmmakers. Keep an eye on them. The new DIY black movie makers equal the future. They are very powerful storytellers. That is good to know. That is really good to know, because Hollywood's going to need as many talented filmmakers as they can get their hands on, considering the direction that some of this stuff is going. Mrs. Hay, good morning to you. Wow. This is first of all, let me just say I am always grateful and glad that we get a number of people checking in on us and checking back with us every single week, so they can hear Martin's lovely dulcet tones and basically roll their eyes with almost every word that I say. But that's fine.
That's not true.
That's fine. It's good.
Oh, we have Benny.
Oh, the lovely Penny. Good morning, Penny. Let me at least ask this before I go any further. What really was your favorite, TV show, movie, event, whatever for last year? What was the one thing that you thought was the best thing for 2024?
Oh. I should have something. The thing is, I don't remember what I saw last year. If you were to ask me about the 70s, okay, I'm all yours. But now I have to use my old man's memory trying to remember what I saw last year. Um, well, Deadpool and Wolverine was certainly a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
But I am certain it wasn't the best that I saw. Trying to remember what I saw on TV.
I mean, if you were to pick one
Hmm.
thing, and you know what, let me help you out a little bit. It doesn't even have to be a television show or a movie. It could be a news story, something that really, in your mind, encapsulates 2024 as a fan of this stuff.
Jesus.
Oh, I thought I was being helpful.
No, you just expanded the area of the things I don't remember doing. Oh,
Oh, real popcorn geek. Hello, the beekeeper. You know what?
what?
That very
That was that 2024 or was that 2023? See, that's one of my problems. I don't remember. I can
I think
constrain
that's
things to a,
I think,
a specific year.
I think that was 2024. It's a good Jason Statham movie. I Jason Statham really now has become the guy for action films. He is the guy. And if somebody had
Oh,
told me 20 years ago that he'd become the guy, I would have said, "Really?" But
no,
no, he really has become the guy.
I would have believed it 100%. Now I am really waiting for a working man.
Yeah. Well, he's just laying it out there, and I like the fact that he's he really knows how to make the kind of movies that the kind of action films that personally I think we need nowadays. There's way too many people that are walking around thinking that every little thing they do is just so important. A lot of movies have a lot of self-importance and self-indulgence, as far as I'm concerned, built into it. And you know, you don't need to spend a whole lot of money to really entertain people. Of course, for my money, I could do with a lot less people looking down their nose at the audience and people that just seem to really be interested in just entertaining. That's what we need a lot more of. People that are just interested in just entertaining and not just looking down their nose at people. Uh, that would go a long way to helping out.
Mm.
Um, for me, if I had to pick out one news item or TV show, or because there's so many.
Ah, dude, wait. Technically speaking,
Yes.
Nosferatu is 2024, right?
Yes.
So even though I saw in 2025, that would would that qualify?
That would qualify.
Oh well, and it's qualified then big time for me because to me that's best movie of the year. I don't
See,
care.
and I have a confession to make. I feel bad about saying this, but I know there's a lot of people out there that really, really love Nosferatu. Not feeling it. Now, when I tell people that, I need to also let them know I don't hate Nosferatu. Trust me on this. If I hated that film, you'd know it.
Dude, you have said the same thing about Dumb 7 while you call it
No,
Dumb
no, no,
7.
no, 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 no. I'm serious. Nosferatu was all right. It was all right, but I just didn't. I wasn't. I'm not completely on
Yeah.
board. You know, I'm sorry. I wish I were. I wish I could feel the way that you and Gary and a few other people that I know feel about that film, but I don't. You know,
Yeah, I
I
get it,
don't
I get
hate
it.
it. Trust me. You know how much I love Rings of Displeasure. I mean, Rings of Power. Uh, and a lot of the D plus stuff as far as Star Wars and Marvel go. Trust me, that's pretty easy. But I enjoy the fact that uh, you know, somebody's gone out and has made a horror film, a gothic horror film, and a lot of people really enjoy it. It definitely points the way to uh, the Frankenstein movie that we have coming from Guillermo del Toro.
I have my doubts.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Mephisto's movie reviews. Good morning to you. Tom Baker says immaculate. Cool.
Beth, do you want an invite? Yeah, the
And
thing with I don't want to be. No. I I hope I don't misrepresent my own opinion this time because I know it's not a popular opinion, but Guillermo del Toro, whose movies I like,
mhm,
some of them I truly love, but he's not uh, really a horror filmmaker.
mhm,
His movies are fantasies that are dressed in horror like visual themes, but
mhm.
there are no horror in his movies, which is okay because it allows me to try to convince some people who don't like horror with his movies, like a gateway drug. Look. See,
Yeah,
horror is not that bad. And then you go incrementing
yeah.
the horror
I,
levels in subsequent movies. But he is, I don't know. Well, Frankenstein, it is not a pure horror movie per se. There are many elements on that story that fits perfectly on his style.
mhm,
But nevertheless, there are horror in that story. There are
yes,
horror elements.
yeah.
And I don't think he can nail those elements.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And after seeing in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein by Kenneth Branagh, I think to me that's the definitive version of of that story on the big screen.
Yeah.
So going back to okay, the monster with the flat head that works in black and white.
Yeah.
You bring that on full color. Mm, I don't know.
I I thought
I'm not.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein was good. I thought it was. I thought it was good. Uh, I'm. I want to see what Guillermo does. I want to see what he wants to do. Uh, Definitely. I am not against anyone wanting to take a shot at doing their own version of Frankenstein. Uh, and especially Guillermo. You know, I think from me, he's at least earned, an upraised eyebrow as I look towards what he wants to do. Will it be the greatest thing since sliced bread? I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to it.
Just see,
It's on
for
my
me.
short list of films that have already piqued my interest, along with
Okay.
Tron Ares.
Whoa. Okay. We'll go there. So, for example, now that Robert Eggers is going to make his werewolf,
Mm-hmm.
and located in the 30th century, I think 13th century.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stoked for that because he really convinced me that he knows his horror in Nosferatu. Now that's the guy I would love to see doing Frankenstein, and it would be perfect that he has his trilogy of monsters.
Yeah.
And now Tron Ares, I don't know, man. I'm a big fan, and I mean a big fan of the Tron franchise. The first movie I
Yeah.
saw it when I was a kid, and it was for that movie that I decided to become a computer programmer. So you make yourself an idea of how much I love that movie. I love the second one too. Uh, but I know maybe it's because of the fact that I know so little about the movie,
Mm-hmm.
and but I'm still seeing that there is no Tron in a movie called Tron.
Yeah, I know. I know that
What the hell?
you had to go ahead and say that, but again, I have to hope. I have to hold out hope. Because Disney can't be that stupid. They really
Really?
cannot be. Yeah,
Really?
I'm holding out hope. Please let me exist on that one. Please, Martin. Please.
Go, man, go.
I gotta hold out hope, man, because I love the first film. I love the second one. I wish I yeah, I just wish that I know. Look. I wish it hadn't have been so long between Legacy and this one, but I'm glad they've made another one.
Well, the wait has been shorter than the between the first one and Legacy.
Yes, you are correct.
At least that.
And again, I know this is not everybody's cup of tea. I know that there are people out there that aren't really big Tron fans, and there are some people that didn't like Legacy. I'm not saying that Legacy was perfect, but for me, it did the job. I love watching it, and whenever I find myself with an opportunity to see it again, I'll do that because I love that story of 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 a father and son.
Mm.
There's just something about that story that really speaks to me. Kind of
Well,
like
in fact, it's more than a father and son. It's a father and really his two sons,
yeah.
because Clue is a son to him. It is
Well, in that respect, I can see that, but I also see Clue as being a manifestation of Kevin's arrogance. I don't see him as a son
yeah,
so much.
yeah,
As,
but Flynn's Clue sees Flynn as his father.
true. That's how Clue sees it.
That's why his hatred, because he felt abandoned
Yes,
by his father.
yes. So we could have a lot of fun just discussing on Legacy, but you know what? I'd have to say that. Let me at least be fair and say this. As far as Tron Ares goes, I'm also very, very curious. I want to see what they put together. They got me with 9 Inch Nails doing the music. Okay, so that right there.
Okay.
And then making sure that fans found out eventually that this is really meant to be more of a story set within the world of Tron and not a direct sequel to the events of Legacy, even though the way that I interpret it, it is a sequel because it deals with the after effects of what happened.
So it's a spin-off with the name of the. You can even say the title character. There is no Tron.
Well, we're getting a Captain America movie without Captain America, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, but you have some dude who is calling himself Captain America, even if he's not. But in this case, you don't have anyone trying to say, "Well, I'll become Tron, Defender of the Beats." No, we have nothing.
If I have to pick one project from 2024, one thing. So many things came out. So many things happened. I would have to say, okay, Unification, the Otoy movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Nothing against any other movies or TV shows. I mean, as far as television is concerned, I can pick a few things, but if I had to if somebody put a gun to my head, to me, it's Unification. I think being the fourth movie in that Otoy's film release, I think being an unlisted YouTube film, if memory serves, I think they've already hit 20 million views. And for the amount of money that they ended up spending to make it, all I can say is to all you executives at CBS, what are you guys smoking? I'm serious. What are you guys doing? What kind of drugs are you guys doing to continue to allow Alex Kurtzman to basically desecrate the Star Trek IP?
I'm telling you, man, he knows some secret of somebody. he's holding tight to some dirty tape or something. He has to.
Well, we'll definitely see by August of 2026. That's how long we're going to have to wait. If Kurtzman can hang on and make it, I think, we'll know. But if by August 2026, if the new owners of Paramount Global decide to go a different direction, we'll definitely know by August of 2026. That's when that is when the current deal with Kurtzman and his company is up. So between now and then, he's got time to launch whatever he wants to make. But I'm telling you right now, if you happen to be a fan of what Kurtzman's done, more power to you. But understand this. The truth is starting to come out. And there are a lot more fans out there of what Star Trek Legacy was meant to be and what they hoped it could be that are not very happy with Alex Kurtzman. I'm telling you that right now.
Why? I mean, look at the success of Section 31. it will open the door for the Obsidian Order.
Oh. I've heard it said by people. I've heard it whispered to me. I know people in the business. And I know there's people out there that, for whatever reason, they know this too. They can feel it, and yet, for some reason, they just want to. They just want to hang with Kurtzman. Kurtzman's, based on what I heard, not a really good guy as far as his work ethic and what he's producing. I don't know the guy. I could probably bump into him on the street and we can have a really nice conversation. But I'm telling you right now, based on, first of all, based on people who have been a guest and have talked to Gary and I, based on people who have contacted me, conversations I've had, things that I've heard, he's not someone that is good to work for. And some of the stuff that's been said about Star Trek Legacy all points to the same thing, that the reason why we are not getting a spinoff from Picard Season 3 is because of Alex Kurtzman. That's the rumor. Alex Kurtzman is the guy in charge. Contrary to anything that even Alex Kurtzman has said, he is the definitive guy in charge of Star Trek. And it is because of him that we will not get Star Trek Legacy. Because his ego won't let him deal with the fact that Star Trek Legacy was as popular with fans as it is. So, I don't know, man. You know, he for some reason he's able to keep getting money out of these people.
I got a
getting a reprieve, and he keeps producing quality, high A grade C rap. So
I got a theory.
What's your theory, my friend?
This is in fact all a simulation, and we are all sentient NPCs, unaware that this is a simulation because this is his simulation.
Oh, well, then
he's paying for the fantasy of being successful.
Still, if that's how it works, I'd at least like to get in touch with him. At least, can you at least allow me to do a little bit better financially? And then, you know, I don't think I would complain as much. Tom Baker says, yes, that is a part of the problem. A bunch of egos involved in the end product. And the result is
shite.
S hit. Yes. You know what? I agree. You know, I personally am a believer that that's the reason why a lot of projects fall apart. Over the last 20 years, there have been things that have happened that have just been amazing. You know, I'm flabbergasted that there are certain people who operate and are able to get away with things. The very fact that Alex Kurtzman has a job currently is a miracle, because he had already cost Universal big money because he killed all their plans.
The monster.
The Monster Universe. He killed it.
No, it wasn't his fault. It was just only Tom Cruise's fault.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, the guy that ends up still making stuff that people want to see long after he left them. You keep blaming Tom there, Alex. I just I gotta say, you know, obviously there are just some people who are protected. There are some people operating in the business who just can't seem to do anything right. And for my money, a lot of them are in some way associated with Bad Robot.
Mhm.
Just saying, that's what it seems like. You know, I think it says a lot that when you look at everything that Bad Robot was doing back in 2000 and look at everything that's happened to them since then, you know, things haven't exactly gone very well for them. I mean, they've gotten a lot of their people spread out into the business. They've infiltrated a number of projects. Unfortunately, a lot of these projects people are beginning to notice are projects that people don't like. The general public rejects. I'm not really trying to point fingers. I'm just saying, look at the people who put it together. If the person in charge is someone that has something to do with Bad Robot, chances are the project they have produced or have regurgitated out there, a lot of people don't like. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying that everything that J.J. Abrams has done has been bad. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff tied up into a lot of projects that he's done over the last 25 years. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one too. It's been 25 years. Anyway, I'm just saying that Star Trek, Star Wars, Rings of Power, a brief taste of not brief enough taste, a brief taste within the DC films and TV shows, and it's all just not good, with the exception of one project. And that's Penguin, the Penguin series. So far, I think that is the only thing that's of any real, I mean, where people seem to really, really like it. Matt Reeves comes along and goes, "Wow, maybe we should make a Clayface movie." Are you high? I mean, sure, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and make a Clayface movie.
Make an animated and direct to video.
And even then, that's not going to help. Again, the bang up job that he and J.J. Abrams have done with Batman Cape Crusader, man, I would not wipe the backside of my least favorite person on earth with anything connected to that show. I just, yeah. Anyway,
I think it's time for us to bring up the big guns in the
yes,
entertainment news.
We're gonna hit the news hard because there's a few things to say. And there's a few things that we can talk about. First and foremost, let's just check in with our good friends over at, well, basically what we have is Paramount. And this news is from I think it's from Cord Cutter. If I can get the story to come up on screen here. But technology. Technology. Wow. Sorry about that, everybody.
Oh, well, things happen.
Yeah, I know, but my screen is taking.
Well, while that happens, you told me between yesterday and today the situation, because it changes. It changed from yesterday to this morning. But it would be nice if you tell our audience um, an overarching view of what is the situation and the surprise factor that arose in these past days, and how is it going now?
Well, I got to say, it looks like Paramount. Well, look, there was a new offer, as everyone knows, a very substantial offer that has come in to try to undercut the deal that Paramount has with Skydance. And I got to say, this is an eye opener. I got to look at this and just say, wow, you know. Now, if memory serves, the Skydance merger, I think, was like $8 billion.
Mhm.
Combination of cash and stock options. This is 13.5 billion. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Just an overhead of 5.5 billions.
Oh
Can,
wow.
can I have please the 0.5?
This, wow. Yeah. Well, here's the big story, because that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. But the big story:
Yeah.
this offer came in, and that's what I like to call an attention getter. And now, from Cord Cutter News, Paramount rejects the unsolicited $13.5 billion bid from Project Rise partners and reaffirms commitment to Skydance merger.
Interesting. Not
Oh wow!
not every day you see someone
Reject.
give $5 billion. There must be
Uh,
something behind that.
I mean, even I know I have no money in on this, and even I'm like going, "Wow, that is a lot to walk away from."
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're right though, Martin. There's really gotta be something behind this if you're gonna say no. Ooh. Well, let's get through this story, and let's see about figuring this out for Mr. Luke Boma. Paramount Global has rejected an unsolicited $13.5 billion takeover bid from Project Rise Partners, PRP, a consortium of investors reaffirming its commitment to the previously announced merger with Skydance Media and Redbird Capital Partners. In a statement to Cord Cutter News, a spokesman for Paramount's special committee emphasized that PRP did not submit a proposal during the 45-day go shop period, nor during the preceding 7-month sale process. The special committee tasked with evaluating potential acquisition partners had contacted over 50 third parties during the ghost shop period, but PRP did not participate. That is important. That is important. In other words, gentlemen, if you got your eye on somebody and you want her to be a part of your life for the rest of your life, you need to make sure you get to her before she hits the aisle. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait till her wedding day to just pop out of nowhere and say, "Hey, baby, hey, I got something special for you, baby." I got to tell you something. That's no time to be doing that. Oh, wow. Let's see. Paramount bound by Skydance agreement. The spokesman stated that Paramount is bound by its agreement with Skydance Media and will not engage with PRP in any way that violates that agreement. The statement effectively shuts down any potential discussions with PRP and underscores Paramount's intention to proceed with the Skydance merger. Wait a minute. You hear that? Did you hear that shriek out there? That's Alex Kurtzman realizing, uh-oh, something could actually happen that I might not really like. Huh. Wow. Let's see. PRP's unsolicited bid, valued at $13.5 billion, significantly exceeds the $8 billion offer from Skydance and Redbird. The consortium's proposal included a substantial premium for Paramount's Class B shares and a $2 billion injection into the company's balance sheet. Despite the higher offer, Paramount's special committee expressed skepticism about PRP's intentions, stating that it is unclear what PRP's objectives are. The committee also highlighted that PRP had not participated in the formal sale process, raising questions about the legitimacy and seriousness of their bid. That is true. If you want her to take you seriously, you're going to have to be serious with her. You can't just pop up out of nowhere and say, "Hey, baby." Oh, wow.
Well, you can pop out of nowhere and say, "Hey, baby, I have 13 billion here." that will I guarantee you will seal the deal.
No, you can't do that, dude. Come on, seriously, no. Because I look at it this way. What do you think would happen had you gotten engaged to your wife and then she waited until some dude popped up, like at the 11th hour, and offered her such and such, and she turns to you and says, "No, don't know, Martin, don't know."
I will tell her he better have $13 billion.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, look. Oh, man. Okay. Hey, look. I have to admit, I'd like to believe there's no shame in my game, but I'm kind of feeling that.
I mean, I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I can understand it.
Oh, wow. So that's it, right? 13.5 billion. That's what it's going to take. I'm sure your wife likes the fact that you put a price tag on it. Oh, wow. I like a lot of other people, when this story first hit about PRP approaching, even I'm like, wow, 13.5 billion, that's hard to resist. But looking at this story, I can also understand you did make a commitment. You can't just change your mind. and there has to be a period of time there to allow any and all people to come in and make offers. That time is come and gone. It's great to show up out of nowhere with $13.5 billion. But, there is also a time limit. It's not just about the money. You got to respect the rules. Now, if it were me, if it were my company, $13.5 million, come on in, friend. But it's not me. It's not my company. And,
I mean, I'm still thinking there has to be something more than just honoring commitment.
well,
That
you,
is
you got you
broken.
got to have rules.
So somebody has to know something about this group.
That's the other thing. Yeah, no, these people just mysteriously popped up. Granted, they popped up after the period for doing something like this is over, because you are allowed a certain period, a grace period, where you can take other offers. Okay, and I remember, in fact, memory serves, when Skydance made their offer, there was another attempt. Someone made an attempt to come in and try to counter the offer, and they couldn't do it. Turns out they didn't have all the money in place. And that was a few months back. So that's the period when PRP should have jumped out and said 13.5.
Right here, right now.
Right here. That's your cue. That is your cue to do that. You can't just pop up and do that when everybody's already made commitments, I mean, on the one hand, I can get it because that's a lot of money to say no to. But on the other hand, you do have to have rules. There has to be rules, or else.
Maybe there was a penalty if they don't proceed with Skydance.
Well, you're breaking. Well, by now they've already signed contracts. They've already made a commitment. I mean, that's part of what that is. It isn't just verbal. I'm sure contracts have been signed to lock this in. And then after everything's been signed, it's kind of like, I hate to do this. It's kind of like making a commitment, like joining the military. Once you sign on the dotted line, Uncle Sam owns you. Doesn't matter what happens. Oh, I just won the lottery. I guess I don't have to go. Wait a minute. I just signed this one. Oh, man.
You're the richest private ever.
That's right. You're going. Hey, congratulations, rich dad. Come on. Still, on such and such date, you're expected to meet up with everyone else and come join our party. So you can't just walk away.
By the way, we have a question from somebody that you may know. I don't know.
Uh-oh. Good morning, Martin and Keith. I'm a little late to the party. Do you guys think with movies like Nosferatu remake and The Wolfman, are we seeing a return to the creature feature? I will answer your question, James. Yes. Look, horror, classic horror, is always in style, in my opinion. And what has happened over the last 20 to 30 years is that you have people that are fans of that, who have reached positions within the industry to be able to take classic horror in a particular direction. In this case, I think we're starting to hit more people falling in love with gothic horror, classic horror, which isn't so bad. I'd like to see a lot more younger people re-engaging with the literary side of horror, so that we can expand or get back to a certain type of horror that I think we've lost. I'm all for original ideas. I'm all for letting people in with new ideas. But I think everything's been so spotty lately over the last 10 to 15 years with horror. I think what needs to happen is we need to go back a little bit and look back at what worked before so that we can inspire the next generation of filmmakers who are fans of horror to do something unique and original. So, good question, James. And for that, you win a hand clap.
Oh
There you go. There you go. See?
In my opinion, I wouldn't say there's a return to the creature feature because, in my eyes and in my heart, creature feature has never gone away.
Yeah.
I may be absolutely wrong, and because I'm talking very subjectively, but whatever happens, this is oh my god, this new Wolfman. I'm gonna swear. I'm gonna say it like it is. It is not the Wolfman. It is not dog shit. It is wolf shit. Oh, how could they do that to my beloved
Man.
werewolf story? Oh,
Tell me how you really feel, Martin.
oh man, it's you see the thing that it makes me like the werewolf or the Wolfman story over the Dracula's slash Nosferatu is the fact that in in the case of the vampire chooses to be that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and there's a tragic element attached to it that the vampire is not aware of, but only many years later.
Yeah.
But the wolfman or the werewolf mythos is something that is done to you against your will, and in fact is the punishment that the beast inflicts on you for daring to survive his attacks. Oh, you didn't let yourself be eaten by me. Now you will become something like me, and you will be cursed forever. So it's that tragic element in which the the accursed person is getting aware of what is happening to them against his will. That is the most attractive factor story wise for me in the mythos.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
seeing what they did this time, oh no. And we have this dubious Frankenstein, which it will be. It will be a success in the box office. I can
Yeah.
tell you that from now because just by saying Guillermo del Toro, everybody's going to say what, but it's not going to be. Well, I think it's not going to be Frankenstein in with all fire in all 8 cylinders. Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
V8 lover. But yes, let us hope Eggers is going to give us a real werewolf story, and we'll see. I think that even yes, Kurtzman killed the Universal Monster rebirth thing, but that doesn't mean he has killed the love of the audience for those characters. And you just have to see it in the indie movie the tide wave of movies. I'm not saying that there are any good or any bad, just that there are a lot of movies about werewolves and vampires. Curiously, not enough about Frankenstein, but okay. So I think we, the lovers of those properties, we have reasons to be hopeful. Again, I may be wrong.
you know what? No, it's your opinion, my man, and I really appreciate that. I feel personally, as I said before, I think horror is definitely something that never really goes out of style. And over these last 20 years, part of it is just the fact that certain producers have made it easier to make a lot more of that because they're not spending as much money, Uh, but now we have in these producers and filmmakers who are big fans, and they're wanting to become all artistic with that. So they're going all out. Real Popcorn Geek says there's a new action picture that Samuel Goldwyn picked up called Killing Mary Sue. It has Martin Cove and Sean Patrick Flannery. Wow, interesting.
Yep, I'm looking for that on IMDb. There's not much info, to be honest. We have Dermot Mulrooney, Sean Patrick Flannery, Jake Busey, nice. French
Jake Busey.
Stewart, yeah. And French Stewart, man, I haven't seen that guy in so many times.
Actually, he was a part of the cast of Mom for several years.
Oh,
The comedy series called Mom. Yeah.
which I didn't see. Benjamin Harris. Okay, let's see. It says that a corrupt senator arranges for the disappearance of his biggest liability, his erratic burnout stepdaughter. Okay, only for her to unwittingly discover her natural talent as an untouchable killer. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing the game here. The Mary Sue, and then now she's the Mary Sue of killers. Yes, yes. Okay, I like. I I would give it a chance.
Yeah.
I will give it a chance with that premise because it looks like the movie is making fun of itself.
Yeah. I like films that are able to poke a little fun at itself. Let's
James,
see.
I think it's Companion, the name of that movie.
Well, again, thank you for your other question, James. And because we read that other question, you get a nice hand clap.
Oh my god!
Well, listen.
Good thing you're brothers.
And speaking of which, hand claps. We need to get to this other story here. It's from Variety, and from Mr. Jack Dunn. Anthony Mackie clarifies he is a proud American after viral Captain America comment. He says, I have the utmost respect for those who serve and have served our country. I like Anthony Mackie. I still like Anthony Mackie. Oh, horror with Nat. Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Good morning
Nadia.
to you. Nadia.
Looking forward to tonight's show. By the way, tonight we have our monthly special of 80s horror with Francine and, of course, our beautiful Nadia here. Where you are all cordially invited. It's a great movie we're going to talk about. This Warlock from '88.
Hey, yeah.
So
That's a movie.
remember,
It's the late Julian Sands.
Yep.
That's
tonight at 8 p.m. Central. So
yeah, I've always enjoyed Julian Sands. Sad that he passed.
He plays the best villains, man.
Well,
he had a knack for that.
I had always, enjoyed some of his offbeat performances. I know he did a few television shows and other things. I liked his appearance on the final season of Stargate, and I I had always thought that Julian Sands would have made a really interesting Vulcan on Star Trek. And I mean real Star Trek and not the stuff that Alex Kurtzman's shoveling right now. I've always thought he was a very talented actor. So that sounds like you guys are going to have a really good show. Congratulations. Let's see.
Okay. Mr. Mackey.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mr.
Oh my
I got to
God.
say, I like Anthony Mackie. I still think he's a really good actor. And I believe what's going on right now with I just believe that this particular film, Brave New World, is not something that is really going to be that popular.
You think?
And my personal feeling on it is that basically, Anthony, if you're listening, personally, I think you got screwed on this deal.
Yeah.
I really do. I genuinely believe that as a comic book fan that I am, a long time comic book fan, you got sold a bill of goods. I believe that whoever told you that making Sam Wilson Captain America was a good thing lied to you. Sam Wilson as a character in the comics is someone who is just he's a phenomenal character. Unfortunately, you have a lot of people who either aren't as big a fan as they claim, or aren't really fans of comics at all, and all they know is what Hollywood regurgitates to them. And they just sort of assume that, you know, hey, this is a great thing, this is the best thing. It's not. You know, this was not a popular move in the comics. And trust me, unlike a lot of other storylines used when Chris Evans played Steve Rogers, this whole thing with Sam Wilson becoming Captain America is a recent development. And by recent, I mean within the last 5 to 7 years. Okay? To me, the MCU has made incredible mistakes when they've decided to skip over 80 plus years of stories and just go for the stuff that was recently in the comics. And then just making sure to pick all the stuff that didn't work in the comics. That's the other thing. A lot of what they've been picking, yeah, they can argue that, hey, this is from the comics, this is from the comics, but every single time you have someone who is not a comic book fan, who's been put in charge of one of these projects, and they point out that what they're doing comes from the comics, every single one of these people have picked out storylines that didn't work for the comic book fans. Amazing how that works out. The same thing in this time. Sam Wilson should always be the Falcon, because the Falcon is a fantastic kick-butt character. I'm still not seeing how that final fight is going to go. And for the record, I hate the fact that, just like with John Boyega, they are screwing Anthony Mackie when it comes to China. You know, it's amazing that Anthony Mackie, and again, I'm not blaming Anthony Mackie because I know he's being told to say certain things, but Anthony Mackie needs to understand. It's great that they got you out here going off, going after the internet trolls, all the people who don't want you to be Captain America, all the people who you pissed off. You seem to have an opinion about all of that and mysteriously have absolutely no opinion about what China is doing to you. And remember, you are the lead. If it's good enough to advertise that in the United States, Canada, South America, England, Germany, and other places, why can't China just go ahead and use the poster that everybody else uses rather than a poster that kind of, I don't know, obscures and or blurs your face so that they can't accurately see who you are? Just putting it out there, Anthony. This is also one of the reasons why John Boyega probably is never going to come back to do another Star Wars film because he got screwed on that deal too. But hey, we'll continue to distract with stories of Rose Tico and not talk about how John Boyega got screwed as a major character in Star Wars and how mysteriously his presence on the posters kind of almost completely disappeared when it came time to advertise them over in China. But yeah, sure. Let's give Anthony Mackie a hard time. Look, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of money that's been spent on this movie, and chances are this film's not going to do very much. From what I'm beginning to hear, a certain narrative is being put together behind the scenes to a lot of the trolls out there who survive on trying to make Disney happy. And one of the angles they're going to try to take is to try to blame the failure of this film on Harrison Ford.
Eventually, they're gonna blame it on Anthony. I guarantee you.
I don't think they're going to blame Anthony because they're wanting to keep Anthony around for later on.
I don't think he wants to be around them anymore.
No, I think he does. You know, it'll be an opportunity to do something kind of cool, which is the reason why they want to blame Harrison Ford because, you know, the argument is that he's not popular with a lot of the viewers. Here, let me help you with this.
Harrison freaking Ford. How is not he popular?
Because you're dealing with people younger than the age of 35, younger than the age of 30, who really don't see Harrison Ford the way those of us past the age of 35 see Harrison Ford. It's a generational thing. If you really think about it, Harrison Ford, to anyone under the age of 30, is an old dude who a lot of their parents seem to really dig. They don't get it. They don't understand it. Seems like every time he's in anything, something goes wrong.
Okay.
All I know is, since buying out Lucasfilm and becoming a part of Disney, it just seems like a lot of the stuff that Disney wants Harrison Ford to do doesn't turn out very well. But they pay him a lot of money to do it. Just saying. I just think that I'm not saying they should get rid of the movie. They should just go ahead and allow it to come out. Just put it out in theaters. I mean, it's going to be out February 14th anyway. Let it come out. Let it do what it does. I'm not going to hold Anthony Mackie responsible. Ultimately, the fault lies right at the feet of Kevin Feige. This is a epic screw up. Okay? This kind of screw up never would have happened during phases 1, 2 or 3. And the fact that they have spent so much time and effort, and make no mistake, in the time that it has taken them to finally figure out how this film should go, they have filmed enough footage. They could have already basically filmed the next 2 movies. They've spent enough money to basically make 3 movies, almost. At least shot enough footage to do that. This is embarrassing, is really what it is. And I don't fault any of the actors. I don't fault any of the production people, costume, stunt people. I don't fault any of those people. The fault lies directly at the feet of the producers and most definitely Kevin Feige. You guys are better than this. You've made a lot of money doing some incredible things, and it seems like you guys are just a bunch of amateurs. So it's unforgivable, basically. And while I have not seen the film, realize this: if this film should somehow find its way to making some kind of money, realize that if you had just done it right the first time out, you probably would have made a whole lot more money. Probably been one of the most successful MCU films. Instead, so we are creeping up on 20 years of the MCU. And if this is how things are going, maybe it's time certain people consider just moving on to do something else.
I know I am.
Devil Flyer, yeah, do better. You're right, do better. Kevin Feige. Do better.
No.
There's also a rumor going around that Kevin Feige was trying to convince Disney to buy Star Trek.
No. No.
Hey,
Please, no.
I'm just saying, he was trying to convince him to do it, and Disney said no. Turns out Feige's a big Star Trek fan.
Yeah, he was a big Marvel fan too, as he said.
It's a lot of Lord Thoth. Hail. I just I don't know. I think the best way to get out of this is to just do quality work again. Stop screwing around. I think Kevin, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Personally, everything worked better when Kevin Feige was only responsible for what Marvel Studios was making and not worried about running the rest of Marvel Entertainment. I think Disney would do well to just have Kevin Feige solely focus on just the films. He doesn't need to be working or overseeing anything else. He does not need to be working on video games. He doesn't need to be overseeing TV or animation or even comics. He does not need to be involved in any of that stuff. You've had a lot of things go wrong It's time that he just focused himself on just that one thing. You know, like he did before when they were making a lot of money. Notice, I'm not saying you should fire the guy. I'm just saying we all need to hope and help him refocus. And just becoming the guy at Marvel Studios, I think that's enough. You know, I think that's enough. What do you think, Martin?
Whatever you say.
Why? You would you like to see Kevin Feige gone? I mean,
No. I want him to stay. I you know me. I am at this point from some time now. I would say a good 4 or 5 years. I've been in the position of Al Capone in the Untouchables when I say I want them burned down. And Kevin is doing such a magnificent job in burning all down. So,
well, I mean, look, as I said before, we're getting we're well on our way to getting 20 years of the MCU. And you know,
I mean, I stopped caring, and it's something that is half sad and half liberating. But I have stopped caring about things that I held so dearly,
mm-hmm.
and I don't need them anymore.
Yeah.
I have the good stuff that they make in the past. Those properties can ride into the sunset, and I don't care. After they what have been done to them, I don't care. I don't want to see anything new done with that. I want to see something new with another thing. Hell, if you want to make crap, do it. Make new crap. I don't care. I I
Mm-hmm.
I I have all the history in my shelf, so I don't need your new stuff. You can all go broke. I don't care. Or you can go make millions doing whatever. I don't care.
Wow.
But it's oh man,
Wow.
yeah, it's kind of it's sad. I admit it. Lose that spark. When I say to my friends and family, when they ask me, "Oh, Star Wars," I waited like 2 or 3 years to see the last one,
Mm-hmm.
and I am the guy that was making lines before the theater even opened to see
Yeah.
the prequels.
Yeah.
The people that can't believe, people who knows me, I cannot believe that I lost all interest in Star Wars, and
Wow.
that's the legacy of this cohort of writers producer.
Yeah.
Let's move on to
Okay.
happiest thing.
We shall. We shall. Wait a minute. Now, Tom Baker, he said, let's see, he just said they made a joke of James Bond 2. Ian
Yeah.
Fleming turns in his grave. Yeah. Look. About the whole James Bond thing, I don't see a way out of that one. I mean, now that Amazon owns MGM, Eon Productions and Barbara are just going to have to make do with that relationship. You know, they're just going to have to make do with dealing with Jeff Bezos. I really don't see a way around any of that. I got nothing for you on that end. I would like to see James Bond, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. With Jeff Bezos and Amazon and everything that they're doing. And speaking of Jeff Bezos and Amazon, that brings us to our next story here. Wow, I can't. Yeah, I just. Yeah. Well, here the best way to do this is just to do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. On the one hand, it's funny, but it's still kind of sad. And this comes from Forbes magazine. Eric Kane wrote this. Bad news for Rings of Power after disastrous season 2 viewership report. It's from yesterday at 7 a.m. Luminate Data has released its streaming report for 2024, which includes a whole bunch of interesting data, including the top 10 streaming shows of the year. Unsurprisingly, Netflix was the top dog in 2024, with 7 out of 10 shows making the list. Taylor Sheridan snagged the number 2 spot with 2 of his shows on the list. The only series that wasn't either a Sheridan production or on Netflix was Fallout on Prime Video. Here's the full list in billions of minutes watched. So let me read this for you. At number 10, Love is Blind, Netflix, 7.38 billion. Griselda is number 9 from Netflix, 7.59 billion. Number 8 is Fallout, Prime Video, based on the video game series, 7.95 billion. Number 7, one of my favorite shows, The Gentleman from Netflix, 8.06 billion. Number 6, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, Netflix, 8.16 billion. Number 5, all right, Tulsa King, Paramount Plus, 8.47 billion. Number 4, The Perfect Couple, Netflix, 8.83 billion. Number 3, Landman, Paramount Plus, 9.9 billion. It's a good show. Good show. Number 2, Bridgerton, Netflix, 11.07 billion. And number 1, Fool Me Once, Netflix, 12.11 billion. Wow. So, let's see. Here we go. Notably absent from this list were 2 very big, expensive TV shows that aired in 2024. Lord of the Rings of Power on Prime Video, and Star Wars, The Acolyte on Disney Plus. Indeed.
That has to be an ironic comment, right?
Yeah, indeed. Not a single Disney show made the list. The top Disney Plus offering was Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which clocked in at about 3 billion minutes viewed, with The Acolyte trailing at number 2 with just under 2.7 billion minutes viewed. Wow.
And there you have it.
Yeah, this is really, yeah. Anyway, first and foremost, for those of you who have not seen the Netflix series The Gentleman, I highly, highly recommend it. It plays in the same world as the film called The Gentleman, but it does not use the same characters. So, if you're looking for something just a little bit different with a little bit of a comedic bent, I highly, highly recommend The Gentleman. And you know what? I also recommend the movie called The Gentleman. So you can watch you don't have to have seen the movie to enjoy the show, and vice versa. Okay. I just find watching both of those to just be fun. So there you go. What do you think, Martin?
Well, about The Gentleman, I haven't seen anything about it.
Okay.
The movie is in my to-do list. Didn't know there was a show. About the numbers and whose shows are on, yeah, it's not a surprise. What surprised me is that they are saying it, because for the past 2 or 3 years they have been saying no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Our numbers are fine. Our audience is fine. We're good.
Yeah.
Now,
Try to keep
mm,
everything steady.
yeah, and now you can see more and more outlets telling us, revealing to us what we already knew. But well,
Well, I gotta say, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of really good entertainment, and yeah, I just think to me the most embarrassing part of this is that The Rings of Power is probably the most expensive television show ever, and it's looking more and more like they're gonna do another season of it. So you're really just throwing good money after bad, and no real work to improve the quality of what you're making. And just they're just moving ahead to move ahead because they have the money, and because they've already spent so much money that their ego is stopping them from actually doing what they probably should have done after they had aired the first season, which is just stop production, pay everybody, and walk away. And again, I will say thank you very much to Amazon and Jennifer Sulky. Thanks for nothing. I tell you. Anyway, yeah.
now, what would this thing you mentioned passing by yesterday, that Baldy Mayo is striking back?
Yeah. Comes from our friends at That Park Place. Fired Marvel showrunner Bo DeMeo indicates he'll expose Kevin Feige before court date. Accuses Marvel of disregarding Black stories. So, in recent developments that further spotlight his tumultuous relationship with Marvel Studios, former X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMeo has leveled serious accusations against the studio's handling of Black stories and talent. Alongside his public criticisms of Marvel's output, DeMeo claims that Marvel doesn't take Black Stories seriously and has hinted that he'll expose Marvel boss Kevin Feige as his court date against the company gets closer.
He may be right, but I think it's not a good look on him. On Di Maio, even worse than on Feige.
Well,
But it looks like a petty fight.
yes, it does. It does look like that. Speaking as a man of color and a comic book fan, though, outside of really Black Panther, I gotta say, I mean, I'm not really seeing too much. You know, Kevin Feige had nothing to do with any of the Netflix stuff. So that explains the reason why Luke Cage and all of the related characters to Luke Cage haven't shown up in the MCU up to this point. And what few characters of color that have shown up, you know, what has been done up to this point has just not been very good. I mean, I got to be honest, you know, I'm not seeing any attempts to try to translate characters from how they were within Marvel Comics and to place them within the MCU as they were. I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing any real success connected with it. You haven't got top talent trying to make these stories into something that is amazing. And again, in my opinion, they gave up on Sam Wilson. They absolutely did next to nothing with that character, let alone trying to point to seeing this character as someone for whom Steve would want to pass the shield to. I'm sorry, they did no real work to earn that. And on top of that, they never allowed they never allowed any real work on the character of Sam Wilson. Anything that you saw Sam Wilson in, outside of having him with Steve Rogers, was turned into a joke, comedy. His cameo appearance in Ant-Man is a comedy. You see him in Civil War, his scene with Bucky, which is just the two of them, that's comedy. That's not how Sam Wilson is in the comics. And everyone else, if you were considered to have a character that was considered a main big Marvel character, and again, for those of us that actually grew up reading these in the 70s, Sam Wilson, I consider to be a big character, but he wasn't treated like that. You know, you take a look at Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, you know, Thor. They got these great solo movies. And Sam Wilson, you know, he did great in the two Captain America related films. Well, yeah, in the two Captain America films. If they would have made a film that treated the character like he was in the comics and pursued a story. Again, Falcon had his own comic book run. He did have his own solo stuff. The very fact that they had to sit on their butts and try to think of a story for the next Captain America movie shows that they were never really that interested in telling a proper Sam Wilson story. Sam Wilson's an incredible character, but they've never really spent any time trying to do anything with that. And the only time they became interested in him is after he had on the suit, after he took the shield. And that's the wrong way to think about it. That's the reason why I thought it was a bad idea. You treated the character like he was not that important. And then you put the shield in his hands, and suddenly now you're trying to, we got to make up for the fact that we didn't actually do anything important with the character, and now here he is. To me, that is a large part of the reason why you are getting the kind of flack you're getting about this. Because Marvel Studios and the Marvel zombie heads out there argued until they were like red in the face against any other comic book related films that tried to not use the same formula as Marvel. Talking about how you're never really going to achieve very much unless, such and such characters get their own movies. Didn't have that treatment for Sam Wilson. He didn't get that. To the point where when the time came, it just seemed like we can just throw Sam Wilson a bone. Here you go. Here's Shield. That's really what that scene seems like to me. And so you get the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and you get a story that was just bad. I mean, there is no thought. You have here someone who, when you meet him in the Winter Soldier film, he's the guy that basically has the point of view of the audience, which is, hey, I'm just, this is not my world, man, but I'm helping. I'm helping Captain America. I'm here. He's trying to keep up. When you get to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he's at least smart enough to listen to Bucky as he gives him advice about how things work. Those two got chemistry. The fact that you decided not to make a movie with the Winter Soldier and the Falcon together still is a mystery to me. Because chemistry means a lot. If two actors don't have chemistry, you got nothing. Yeah, Shinatsky, that's right. It's not a mantle, it's a hand-me-down. If you are not familiar with the history of Falcon in the comics, then I don't know what to tell you. But the Kevin Feige and the MCU screwed up. That pretty much is my opinion on the whole thing. And they've screwed Anthony Mackie. Thank you, Shinatsky. Read by nature. It wasn't so much that they couldn't think of what to do with Falcon. More so, the first thing that came to mind was have Sam go do what affluent progressives believe is black guy stuff. Pretty much. They just needed something to go. He was a placeholder until they needed him to do something. Basically, that's the way they treated his character. No real investment of him as Falcon. None. And now we're supposed to go see this film. They've spent way too much money on it. And we got to look. This is all out there, okay? Basically, this is all going to come down to the third act and that final fight. And you're going to have to buy into Sam Wilson as Captain Falcon America.
A normal human.
Going up against the Red Hulk. And yes, his suit has had things done to it. But I'm telling you right now, I don't care what kind of suit you're wearing.
It's the Hulk who's punching you.
Yeah. I mean, that's like saying, hey, I got this incredible suit that can absorb stuff. It's great. But let's just say he's pushed out of a plane and his wings don't work. Now, if you're talking somebody being able to survive a fall, better yet, no, here's a better example. That whole fight in the elevator, notice how Steve got out of that. I think the only reason why Steve survived that fall was because, he's got the super soldier serum in him. Because any normal human being that would try to survive something like that, when you look at how far he fell, they're going to be scraping you up off that pavement. And that's what they're wanting you to believe, is that, Sam Wilson would survive something like that with a special suit that he got from Wakanda. Not super serum, not the fact that his body could take the damage and repair his cells. Something about hitting a really hard object after falling a great distance. Whether or not you had that shield or not, you're going to break some things. Well, you're going up against Hulk now, buddy. As long as you got your magic BS suit, though, and those wings, that shield, you'll do fine.
Well, according to the show, the suit is all also made of vibranium, so they have the thing there. However, well, this is our fantasy movies. Here, the internal organs don't get hurt.
Well, I mean, again, but
because the suit can absorb the jump, the force of the impact and everything, but the inertia is still going to liquefy your internal organs.
That's right. Now, if you are a mutant that can heal, or like Captain America, Steve Rogers, where you have the super soldier serum inside you, you're still going to. The difference is, in all these different cases, you're getting hurt. It's about the ability to be able to survive what you've done. Okay? Logan, Steve Rogers, even Deathstroke the Terminator. I know, DC character, but still fits. Can all survive. And nowhere does it say that they're invincible or anything. That's a Superman thing. Kal-El can survive a fall. I mean, you knock him out, he's going to fall to the earth. He'll be fine. But Wolverine is going to hurt. He'll survive it.
But he's
You
gonna
give him-
feel it.
Yeah, he's going to feel it, but he'll survive it. You give him a chance for, you give his body a chance to heal, and he'll be able to jump right up and complain because you don't have a cigar and a beer ready for him. Steve Rogers, just like they showed you in the movie. I mean, if you go back to that scene, it takes him a moment. He doesn't just pop back up. It takes Steve a moment. That's a fall.
And it's just a fall.
Yeah.
It's not the freaking Red Hulk.
And now they've given Sam Wilson the magic BS suit. Good luck. I'm just not buying it, I mean, again, I will go see the movie, but you spent a lot of money. This is an unnecessary gamble, is really what it is. And for those that think that I'm being too hard on this, you need to really understand something. The movie started out with a particular story that they wrote and went into production on, had a budget made for, shot the entire thing, found out once they showed it to test audiences that it didn't work. Reshot a few things, still didn't work. Went back to the drawing board. Got the writers back together, figured out a way, and what they ended up doing was they added some characters. This is where Giancarlo Esposito comes in. Remember, he's part of the second major redoing of the movie. He wasn't originally meant to be in this movie. And then you have a character played by a WWE wrestler. They film a whole movie. That gets seen. That does not work. They do some reshoots, and eventually it was reported that the WWE wrestler ended up telling his fans not to bother going to see the movie because they managed to cut his character completely out of the movie. What do you think about that? You're bringing in people to be a part of this. People that were not originally a part of the film. And you've already cut out someone who has a large following online. So you've already spent a lot of money. Now it looks like they've gone back and done just a little more work to, quote unquote, tweak some things. According to one of the original actors who was there from the very beginning, Tim Blake Nelson, it was supposedly attributed to him that they've already basically refilmed that movie twice, minimum.
Oh no, they went for 5 rounds of reshoots. So
True, but at the time when he made that statement, at that time, twice. And I know there are some people walking around, oh, that's not true. That's true. It's true. Minimum twice. Minimum. And again, if you're trying to keep as much of the footage that you originally had, that means whatever rewrites you're doing has to fit within the context of what you had done before. So if that was a bad script, you're basically just trying to fit within the context of what you did. This has all been an unnecessary exercise in what not to do. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Just like with Alex Kurtzman and Star Trek, all of the Star Trek stuff. This thing here with this movie, they're going to be teaching this in colleges as to what not to do when making movies. Now, this film could actually be decent when it comes out. Let's at least go there with this. Let's just give this a little bit. This could actually be a decent film. But because of the amount of money that they spent, if through some miracle this film manages to break even, meaning makes about $1 billion to break even, that still means it's not going to be profitable on the order of what they needed it to be. And understand, if you go by the original budget for the movie, this film makes $1 billion. All of that lost money was because of all of the mistakes that had been made. That's money that doesn't go to help Marvel Studios do a better job with the next projects they have. It's definitely money that Disney's not getting. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I still think the world of Anthony Mackie. I would love to see him do something else because I really think he's being mistreated. And yeah, I'm an old guy, so I like Harrison Ford. I think the guy's fun. I know he's kind of up there in age, but if he's still willing to make movies, more power to the guy. I got no hard feelings, nothing to say about Harrison Ford other than the fact that they probably paid him quite a bit of money to continue to come back. All I can say is, play on, player. You get yours. I mean, and that goes for Anthony Mackie too. You play on, player. As long as they continue to pay you and spell your name right on the check, you keep doing what you got to do, man. But to Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, what are you doing? I mean, what are you doing? Anyway. Enough on my soapbox here. I'm not saying that nobody's ever really going to complain about this movie. I'm just saying that, I really did want this film to succeed. I was really hoping they would stick with the original Serpent Society storyline, but, yeah, I just, I'm just finding it difficult that Kevin Feige, after all the success that he's had, and you just managed to screw this up. And again, make no mistake, this is a screw up. And when you screw up bad enough to almost make even the Marvels or the Eternals look good, you know you screwed up. So, see, read by nature. I'd love to
see.
Okay, all that discarded footage from their various reshoots. Must be a train wreck. Well, somebody did once suggest that they could just treat it like choose your own adventure type thing. Put that on disc, on a Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
With all the various scenes and all the various different storylines, and turn it into one huge choose your own adventure.
Like they did with Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
There you go.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, it would be a novelty, but it would be a very expensive novelty. Remember,
no.
Disney can't afford to keep losing money like this. You know, to all those people that just, you've got to understand, there is going to come a point where you're just going to have to go, no. There's been a lot of money spent doing stuff that ultimately is the opposite of successful. Okay? And again, Disney, I got 2 words for those of you that are park people. Epic Universe. I mean, like Mr. Rhythm said, and I really enjoyed the character Mr. Rhythm, that which makes you will also break you. There's a lot of arrogance here. A lot of arrogance here. And James Caserta, can they bring Plastic Man back? I would like to see Warner Brothers tackle a Plastic Man movie.
Who would you cast as Plastic Man?
I don't know, but I'm telling you, Batman in the comics had it right. That is the one character that Batman, even himself, says this is the most dangerous person. Plastic Man is the most dangerous person. Period.
Bill Hader?
Bill Hader would be good, but he's a little on the old side. You know, my biggest pet peeve right now about the DC films that are being made is they are making these characters, some of these characters are way too old. Way too old. And yes, I'm still mad about the whole Hal Jordan thing. You know, Hal Jordan, Bruce Wayne, Oliver Queen, and Barry Allen are all about the same age. When you start monkeying with people's ages like that, I mean, the only reason why they casted older for Hal Jordan is they were wanting to job have Hal Jordan so they could prop up Jon Stewart. My answer to that is, okay, there's a lot of comic book dumb people that are doing this. This is not good. Because you're robbing yourself of a lot of really good stories, and you're robbing yourself of the ability to be able to see the relationship between Hal and John play out. those two guys are fantastic friends. And the two of them helped to form really with Guy Gardner. All three of them are the original three Green Lanterns, and they all have an interesting relationship, together. Hal and John get along. I mean, they are just fantastic. John and Guy get along. Hal and Guy don't get along.
Yeah, that's another
that
whole
is
story.
an understatement. That is an understatement. But it's weird because it's not like it's not a hate on hate thing. But it's oil and water with those two. That said, though, the three of them together, that's great stuff. And now we're getting all of this just weirdness again, as if the people making the stuff never opened or read any of the comics. Hal and Barry started out being really close. Green Lantern and the Flash had a lot of adventures together. You can read those in a lot of the books that were done in the 1950s and 60s. And that's because it's a repeat or an echo of what DC had from before, which is Jay Garrick and Alan Scott were really close. That version of the Flash, the original Flash and the original Green Lantern, they were great together too. They liked having adventures together. So, read by nature, agreed. Batman being older is especially weird when Superman will be young. Those are your two tentpole characters, contemporaries. It completely changes the dynamic to have a large age gap. You're right. It does. And then when you start picking and choosing who to keep young or who to make younger, or, again, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but I'm telling you right now, I am weirded out by what they did in changing the character of Raven from the Teen Titans and making her younger and emo. It does not work. She is a very haunted character. In fact, I always saw her as being a little bit older than Starfire. But a lot of the reasons why they did that to that character is because a lot of the writers who they've been bringing in over these last few years couldn't write. And they could only write what they understood. So being emo made more sense than having a girl who is truly haunted on a level that only Bruce Banner would understand. So they couldn't write sophisticatedly. They couldn't write about the dichotomy and the duality and the constant fear. It's one of the reasons why a lot of these younger writers couldn't even write some of their favorite stuff from Buffy. If you can't write someone like Raven, then you can't write Angel, because it's pretty much the same thing, at least for those adventures that Angel had back in Sunnydale when he first met Buffy. It's the same thing. almost the same kind of curse in a way. That's how you write Raven. You know, she grew her hair longer because it was part of the religion that she was part of. But she kept to herself because it helped to control her emotions, to contain and stop her from unleashing what she had. And then you create this like phony relationship thing with her and Changeling. Yeah, that whole thing of just almost deifying that version of the Teen Titans and pretending that no other version of the Titans existed. You know, you're really cutting yourself off from a lot of really cool stories, and probably one of the largest groups within DC. You know, there's a lot of really cool young heroes who are part of the Teen Titans. And them just doing all this weird stuff doesn't help that. Again, that's my opinion, but hey, you know, you can see for yourself by just reading a lot of the books. And again, I'm a big fan of Bumblebee and her boyfriend Mal. Great characters. One of the most romantic and longest lasting relationships in comics. You know, a lot of what people have complained to Marvel about and not allowing Peter and MJ to have their relationship. Well, guess what? That's what Bumblebee and Mal have. None of the ups and downs. From the moment they met, they knew they were destined to be together. And it's an incredible relationship between two heroes. They get it. It's very healthy. Read by nature. Don't get me started on Raven's age on that show. They cast a 15-year-old girl, but then they cast a 21-year-old guy as Beast Boy. Right? I mean, you know, basically for that version of the Titans in the comics, they were trying to basically make their own version of the X-Men. And had Gar as sort of like their version of Bobby Drake. Now, according to the comics, yeah, he was younger than everyone else for the most part. So now you change Raven's age to what? I mean, was it really important to have the emotionally measured, terrified young lady teamed up with a kid who seems to not take things too seriously, but who also himself has a little bit of a tragic story, just a little bit. Okay. And Tim asks, what's the deal then with Raven's age? Then it's like we've been saying. If you look up the third incarnation of the Teen Titans of the 80s, you know, they let you know how old these characters are. You know, Dick Grayson's supposed to be about 20, give or take. And teamed up with some of the members of the original Titans. Everybody's about the same age. You know, Kid Flash, Wonder Girl. So they're all about 20. Cyborg and Starfire and Raven are all about 20 themselves. 20. I think Cyborg might be 21. And then you have Changeling. And I'd say for that story, his age is probably closer to 16, 17. And the reason why they've made him so young, this also fits in with his being in love with Tara when she's introduced into the group. And Tara's, in fact, thinking back on it, no, Changeling's supposed to be closer to like 15 because Tara is like 14 when that story happens. So there's like a 1 year age difference between Tara and Changeling, Beast Boy. Let's see, James asked, Plastic Man as opposed to the Elongated Man. Yeah, no, Ralph Digby is a normal guy for the most part who happens to have the stretchy power. He thinks, he's a detective, he's married. Batman is not talking about the Elongated Man. He's talking about Plastic Man. Eel O'Brien has a screw loose. This guy was a career criminal. And because of what happened when he gained his powers, it also, I think, according to Batman, did something to his mind a little bit. Batman says the reason why he is so dangerous, probably the most dangerous person that is affiliated with the Justice League, is that if he ever got his full mind back or decided one day, I've done enough of this good guy stuff. Because remember, he started out as a bad guy. If he ever decided to go the opposite way, Batman has no way of stopping him. In fact, according to Batman, he could take out every member of the Justice League easily. They detailed it in one of the comics. It's pretty efficient. Plastic Man, it's almost like he's got two different personalities. If you want to use the whole Buffy thing, deep down, he has the capacity to become angelus. And if that ever happened, there's no way in Batman's figuring of things, there's no way they can stop him. There is not one person involved in the Justice League who can stop him.
I don't know. I think Superman could.
No, they showed you how he could take Superman out. They showed you how Plastic Man could do it. Even I never thought of that one. It's like, oh my God, yes.
Well, Batman, you better tell me.
It's if Plastic Man were to have Batman, he could easily be like Batman, but with no moral stuff to stop him. He could easily kill every single member of the Justice League. And Batman detailed exactly how he could do it. Superman, he would, I think it's the one where he went inside of Superman through his ear.
Oh.
And basically started playing havoc with his brain. Poking holes, detaching things. Like I said. He could take out everybody easily because he's, for some reason, Batman could detect and find Ralph Digby, the elongated man. Plastic Man does not show up on any of the scanners. He can't detect him. Digby being quote unquote normal, his brain won't allow him to take on some of the shapes that Plastic Man does without even thinking. Remember, he's mentally not always all there. He's kind of, look, Plastic Man seems to be like the original version of Deadpool without the fourth wall break. And if he ever clicked back over, he would, yeah, as Batman said, if he were to ever regain and understand how powerful he truly is, because right now he's on this whole I'm a good guy kick. I'm a good guy. I can help you guys out. As far as Batman is concerned, keep placating him. You know, don't make him go the opposite way, whatever you do. So I know Real Popcorn Geek. Like I said, I didn't do the comic, but I found it a very good argument. You know, considering some of the shapes that he can take, mimicking vehicles and even inanimate objects. He can go wherever he needs to be. He can be undetectable, and he can be efficient if he ever decided to play for the opposite team again. So, yeah. There's this one comic where he replaced a piece of clothing that Big Barda had, a dress that she was supposed to wear, and Plastic Man became the dress.
Oh.
Now, nobody in their right mind would ever want to get Big Barda mad at them. He thought it was funny. Doesn't seem like she can hurt him, even though she is one of the most powerful people out there. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Plastic Man could be a really cool individual film. Same way with all of that stuff about introducing the X-Men into the MCU. Yeah, you could do individual movies. And there are certain characters that it would be kind of cool to do individual films for, like Cyclops. Cyclops is a fun character. He's a really fun character. He's Daniel Craig's version of James Bond with the eye blast powers. That's who Cyclops actually is. Now, I know if you're one of those people who, I was introduced to Cyclops because of, the movies, or because I was watching X-Men 97. Here's what you need to understand. When you read Cyclops in the comics, Cyclops is a badass. A complete badass. There is a reason why he is the leader and why Storm is the second in command. I mean, yeah, you could look at if this were Star Trek, you could look at Mr. Spock going, he's a Vulcan, stronger than human beings, able to think logically. He should be the captain. There's a reason why James T. Kirk is the captain. Cyclops has that Captain Kirkness. He's got it. And he's also probably one of the most dangerous members of the X-Men. Because he has that one thing that's keeping him in check. In fact, in the comics, they've seen fit to unleash it. But see, there we go. That's what I mean. Wolverine fan here. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a Wolverine fan. But I'm telling you right now, Cyclops, he's the leader. And he also is probably one of the most dangerous people in the X-Men. Because he's a true believer. He believes. He believes in Xavier's dream. He is a dedicated believer. And in any movement, the most dangerous person is the person that truly believes in the movement. So yes, I think there should be a Cyclops movie. And I think someone had suggested it would be more efficient to have as many cameos by other X-Men in those individual movies to make it feel a little more lived in as a world. I believe in that, but also because, someone was arguing, well, why's it got to be Cyclops? Summers family, their backstory, definitely something that is important later on in the X-Men. Yeah, start with Scott Summers. Start with that. For my money, I didn't start out with the X-Men, with all these various people that are a part of it. For me, the X-Men starts with the original X-Men. When it was just Cyclops, Marvel Girl, Angel, Beast, and Iceman. Personally, I think that's really how the MCU should start it. They're going to start it. You should start it from the beginning. So I believe in the OG X-Men. That's my preferred version of the team. To me, that's the best version. The pure version. But, bringing in Banshee and Storm and Wolverine, I mean, that's also a nice addition to everything. But that's a different version of the X-Men. That's, to my mind, that's version 2. That's 2.0 X-Men. So that's how I roll. Anyway, it's after 1. Well, I have droned on and on enough. So I'd like to thank James Caserta and Tim and Read by Nature and Shinatsky and Lloyd Thoth and Devil Flyer, Horror with Nads, Mr. J.M. James, Moncrief, Real Popcorn Geek, Lady Penny, because, you know, she's cool like that. Mrs. A, because she's also cool like that. And, of course, Tom Baker. So, I hope everybody has a really, really, really good day. Seriously. And a good weekend. And, you know what? You know,
What?
this weekend, just for a little bit, find time to indulge in something that you haven't enjoyed since you were a child. That's this week's assignment for everybody. Just find something. Just do that for a bit. So on behalf of myself and my good buddy Martin here, because, you know, he actually runs the whole thing. This has been Morning Coffee with Keith and Martin. Signing off. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
See ya.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Thank you.